Does Edward and Bella share a telepathic connection manifested by their love? There is one fan theory inspired by New Moon that suggests that Bella and Edward had a type of mystical psychic connection. Now, as readers know, Bella kept hearing Edward's voice in this novel. Now, at the end of this novel, there's kind of an explanation. She says, "Deep down, I knew you loved me. And in the way, our love spoke. And that's why I was hearing your voice, still telling me to take care of myself and still telling me the truth that you love me." But readers are not convinced. And I don't blame them, because some very unusual things happen. Edward's voice is there, and you could say, oh, it's just wish fulfillment, or Bella's just hearing it, or even she went crazy, who knows. But I don't think she didn't she was not crazy, but she was hearing his voice. There's quite a few times Edward says things that couldn't really have come out of Bella's imagination. Now, one example is when Jacob Black becomes a werewolf. He actually has to control his emotions, because if he becomes angry and he transforms and someone's standing too close, he could seriously injure them, which is what happened to Emily. She was standing too close when Sam transformed into a wolf, and she was seriously injured. So Jacob, even for a while, thinks he can't even be friends with Bella anymore. He says, I can't be around you, because he figures he's actually dangerous to the people around him while he's mastering control and learning to live with transforming into a werewolf. But the funny part is, not only did Bella not know he was a werewolf yet, when he says we can't be friends anymore, she also had no way of knowing that his temper dictated if he transformed or not. But when she's talking to Jacob and he starts to become angry, suddenly Edward's voice pops in and he says, Bella, back away from him and let him calm down. So she even says, you're being ridiculous. Like, she thought, what? Which is very strange. There's no way she could have known that. Now, some readers could argue that, well, she could have deducted subconsciously that Jacob was a werewolf, because he did tell her the legends, the Quileute legends of becoming a werewolf in the first Twilight book. So some readers could say, well, in a way, if it is her imagining Edward's voice, she knew deep down Jacob could be a werewolf. But the thing is, even then, she had no way of knowing that his temper dictated his transformation. So the idea that Edward is telling her, let him calm down, this is dangerous, that is a little peculiar. It's as if Edward really was there. And that is the reader's theory, that Edward actually was there. Even if he didn't know it, there's a subconscious connection, kind of like mind reading. Now, it's funny because Edward actually is a mind reader, and Bella is a shield. And in Breaking Dawn, we find out that she can let him read her mind. So yes, there could potentially be an unknown mind connection between them. Now, at the end of the novel, Edward and Bella talk things out. But the thing is that there's plenty to hint that Edward sort of, like, part of his mind was trying to give Bella proper advice. You know, lie to Laurent, don't do this. You know, things that would be dangerous to Bella. He was trying to advise her to stay safe. Now, Stephenie Meyers has said, and I agree with her, that if Edward had known Bella was in danger, or that Victoria was there, he would have come immediately to Forks. But if this was a subconscious mind attachment, then he wouldn't have known. They have a type of thought connection. He wasn't really there, but part of his mind was. He wouldn't have known any of this. But he was still giving Bella advice that she couldn't have possibly known. So I kind of see where readers would come up with this theory that it really was Edward's voice all along. And I mean, these are books about vampires and werewolves that can do magical things. Alice can see the future. Edward can read minds. Bella becomes a shield when she becomes a vampire. And one of our favorite vampires can even manipulate the elements. So yes, they can do magical, amazing things. And Bella Swan was still a shield as a human. She still had her mind power as a human. It just was more developed as a vampire. So yes, tell me, readers, what you think. Did Edward and Bella really have a mental connection, a bond? Maybe it was even a spirit bond. Because this is one theory I actually suspect there may be something to it. Might be some truth to it. So, does Edward and Bella share a telepathic connection manifested by their love? Let me know what you think.